Well, Bobby, we are here once again,
Back in the kitchen.
back in the kitchen, talking to people. We do not know where, but we welcome all who have chosen to join us. And
Mhm.
today we're talking about maintaining a three-vote marriage, which is a very good way to live your life with your partner.
Right. And it's not our term. We borrowed it from our mentors, Doctors David and Vera Mays.
Which we have our book, The Marriage Pioneers, and that talks about the various things. There are three different styles of marriage.
Yes, the one vote system, the two vote system, and the three vote system.
The one vote system is if one person here and one person below, so you have one vote and
Mhm.
you both agree on it. And that works as long as both agree.
Yes, it's probably the most popular system in the whole world, and it certainly has been in our history in the past.
But it has limitations. If the subordinated person doesn't like it, then it's really out of kilter. But the theme of the one vote system is conflict excluding.
Mhm. Because both agree that one person, the designated person, will make all the decisions. The person goes along with.
Style of marriage is the conflict avoiding. So you have two persons, the partners here, but in between there's a line separating them in the sense that they are everything is built around the roles of the relationship. What one partner does versus what the other partner does. And
It's a two vote system. And unlike the one vote system, this one arose historically right after World War II,
yes,
when in our country, more women had gone into the workforce, made a salary, and needed a vote in the relationship. And so, to accommodate and to cut down on the conflict that inevitably arrives when there's two votes
right.
and they don't match, uh, it said, okay, what we'll do is assign roles in
Yes.
the relationship.
And therefore, we're very efficient as a couple because
Mhm.
we know what each person's to do. Now, in
Mhm.
our marriage, we began to have that kind of relationship,
Mhm.
but we never did assign each other roles. We assumed roles.
Yes, from the past, from the homes we grew up in.
And so that made difficulty. And of course, and this was called the conflict avoiding. We avoid conflict simply because we've assigned roles.
Mhm. But there's also a new system. And although you may go in and out of, as every couple does, the one vote, the two vote, and now the three vote system.
Yeah, the three vote system, you still are coupled side by side, but you join hands. And
Mhm.
the joining of hands, think of it as this is the relationship. You have a vote for me, the husband, and a vote for Bobby, the wife, and then there's a vote for the relationship. Three votes.
And the relationship takes a vote by saying how well you're getting along, how well you protect that relationship, how well you nourish it, how well you grow it.
You know, you've known couples that they say they're doing terrific as a couple, and then you see them interact and you say, I don't know what this, wow, that was not.
Well, it's another way
Yeah.
of saying the me, the you, and the us, which we have talked about before. The us being the relationship. And regarding disagreement, it needs to be a win, win, win.
Win for each person in the couple and the relationship.
It wins too. Because in the one vote system, one may make efficient decisions and good decisions, but if the other person doesn't agree, the relationship suffers as a result of resentment and unhappiness And even in the two vote system, which is built on efficiency and getting things done as a family and building a good job record.
And it rewards accomplishments of each family member.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good system, and we all go in and out of that. But most people, most couples, probably don't think about the 3-vote marriage, about maintaining a good, strong us and nourishing it and growing it. So that's what we want to talk about today.
Also, a lot of couples get married after being single adults for several years, and they are accustomed to having their own schedule, their own appointments, their own money, their own way of doing things. Then they get married. And so there's a very strong me and a very strong you, but you haven't nurtured or even developed the us as much. And so think of it this way. I have a circle around one person, a circle around the other, but we don't have this intertwining circle that includes the us. That's what a relationship needs to work on. If you have a healthy us, you're going to have a healthy relationship.
And it's especially important during this pandemic time, I think, related time to know that when we come out of this, and I think we will eventually, we are better for it. We have built for it. We have worked on our relationship.
Well, let's talk about
how to work on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So if the 3-vote appeals to you, and if you think it might be of interest or work for you, here's some ways for maintaining it. One way is to value and to work toward understanding each other's point of view.
In other words, speak up. Let each other know what you think and feel.
Yes. We had a situation happen just this week that we had a disagreement on, and we had a choice about how we handled it. Right. One of our grandsons was graduating with an MBA, and we went to a family dinner party and gave him a card with money in it.
There were less than 10, my dad.
Oh, that's true.
During the pandemic.
We abided by that.
Yes.
And so I had shopped for the card. I had chosen the card. I had written on the card. I had lobbied for money to go in the card.
I provided the money for the card.
Yes. And and I gave it to him, and he read it and liked it. But later, I heard from Britton that he did not feel included in that presentation.
I didn't feel it.
He didn't like it. He was mad about it. And this went on for a couple of days. Obviously, we were divided on our point of view toward that card.
It wasn't that we didn't talk about it in those 2 days, but we hadn't settled it. And I hadn't come up with the feelings that I had deeply felt. They were slow in coming to me.
My point of view was that I felt controlled, and that Britton telling me I shouldn't have done it that way when I was the one that was working on the card was my point of view toward the whole situation.
Right.
But when I finally listened to Britton's point of view, it was that he was still feeling guilty because when that grandson had graduated from college,
I wasn't able to go to his graduation because I was speaking at Texas Woman University commencement at the very same time,
the same night
as he was graduating.
So over the years, this particular grandson has made clear that he knew who came to his graduation and who didn't. And Britton was feeling sorry that he could not do that. And then when I gave the card, it left him out even further.
Because I was not involved simply in handing the card.
So I understood that perfectly. I presented my point of view, but when I listened carefully to his point of view, I understood it, and we were able to meet and have a more of a 3-vote experience when we worked to make sure that our relationship accommodated both points of view and
the interests of both.
And the interests of both, but also it allowed for us to make plans for the future about how to handle something like that.
So in essence, what we did was we put the issue on the table, and as a team, as a couple, we looked at it and worked on it together and let the feelings come out so we could understand what in the world was going on. There was one other little thing about this, Bobby, and that is I couldn't go to his MBA graduation either. They only allowed 3 tickets. And so the parents got to go and the girlfriend got to go, but not the grandparents.
Yes.
And so I missed 2 of his graduations. And so anyway, that was part of it. But only after everything had happened did I understand that within myself.
But if you're interested in exploring a 3-vote marriage, then there needs to be this listening to each other's point of view.
And you're not going to always stay in a 3-vote marriage. It's not you lock in on 3 votes and you're always there. You're going to vacillate back and forth from all 3 of these more than likely. There are certain areas that any leadership would have leadership in those areas. So
well, there's some that you do. If you're buying or we're trading cars, I want you to make the decision. I don't know enough about cars to know what we need.
Well, you let me know what your preferences are, and you like you.
Yeah, but mine are things like what color it is.
And what does the rear end look like?
Yeah,
things like that.
Too. Yeah, important things.
Yeah.
So you'll go back and forth between all 3 votes or styles of marriage, but if you're interested in maintaining the 3 valuing, talking about, and understanding, talking toward learning, talking toward sharing feelings about the issue is really important in arriving at a vote for the relationship that feels good to all 3, me, you, and us.
And by the way, I think if you stay current in whatever is going on in the relationship, this is much easier to maintain or sustain or entertain, if you want to think of it that way, that I want this kind of relationship. And what I have personally felt is that I feel really secure in this relationship with you, Bobby, when we are in tune with each other and that our relationship continues to be voting.
Yes. Well, I feel the same way. And in this pioneering time, we've been exploring as Mama B and Papa B, just old people who have been married a long time and who still struggle and who still admit close relationship, intimate relationship is a work in progress, but a work worth it.
Yes, and definitely to share feelings and to know that the value of the 3-vote system, which I don't think we said this, that the style of it is conflict resolving.
Yes, yes.
So you have the conflict excluding with 1 vote, then you have the conflict avoiding 2 votes, and then the conflict resolving the 3 votes. And when you have those choices, you know we can get somewhere. And I'll have to say, when we learned some of the skills that we've gotten in marriage enrichment, and then we applied them into a disagreement situation, I have felt so much more secure in this relationship because I've felt we can handle anything.
Well, one thing that helps me talk when it's a disagreement and we both need to be clear, and we both need to state our points of view, and we both need to share our feelings. One thing that helps me to do that is our everyday couple time.
Yes.
It's a 15-minute time we do every day, and highly recommend to all couples. It's talking about your relationship.
Yes.
It's not working on schedules, important as that is. It's not settling issues, important though that is. It's not talking about your children and their issues. It's talking about the two of you. What's going right in your relationship?
And dealing with it in that time span. So you know that marriage relationship for you is a priority, and therefore you set aside time for this relationship to have talk time.
So that's the 1, 2, and 3 vote system. And only one, the conflict resolving, leads to real intimacy between the couple. And so I think it might be a good conversation later today when two of you are together to talk about what you think about it. 1 vote, 2 vote, and 3 vote.
And know that if I win and Bobby wins, 3 wins is what you want in every situation. Have a good day.
Yes, we're glad to be with you today and look forward to another chat next week.
Thank you.